Cham breaking out. The only other race that he doesn't play in WCS. Cham, a smiley face. And also some probes and pylons. He's picked Protoss. But winding up again for another shot. This time on Emerald City. Probably the most macro-oriented. And this time, both the double Zerg. Essentially, the Legacy of the Void cinematic will hopefully be what we have here. It is Living Dead. And If I Were a Soup. So we've got a Zerg. We've got a Zerg. We got to get him like the football. You know, like in real sports where they have the... Okay, Jimmy. Can we... Pros versus Joes. This Sunday night. Starcraft 2 Super Slam. And
his name is John C.
No. Jimmy, calm down. What is Cham doing this time? Now, a lot of, like, for example, when it comes to pro players, many of them are incredibly competent, for one reason or another, at the other races. It's rare when you get a pro player who just literally doesn't know how to play the other races. And even if they don't, give them a week or two working on it, and they'll easily be at that Grandmaster level. Doesn't really matter who. But, like, for example, did you know Neeb was Terran in WCS? Well, that should tell you how well he did before he switched to Protoss with Legacy of the Void, but still. He did qualify for WCS Challenger multiple times in Heart of the Swarm as a Terran player. But many of these players, they're off races. It's kind of like Michael Jordan playing baseball. He might not be the best baseball player, but he's a pretty good athlete. So, he's not going to be totally incompetent. Cham gets in, gets a drone, gets out. Did Soup play random? That's a bold move after that first game. No. Oh. What, Soup was off racing? Do you know who you're playing? Not everybody knows Cham, especially maybe the English-speaking audience, not as well versed. But Cham is one of the best players in North America. He's from Mexico. Zerg is bet. Okay. Okay, Soup. Alright. Now let's simmer down. Cham approves. Cham trying to prove how strong Protoss is, that they can beat two Zergs at once. Whereas Soup trying to claim Zerg Imba simultaneously. Resonating glaives on the way. Is this now? This is straight out of like early Legacy of the Void here. I like how Cham is essentially doing a 1v1 build, but just scaling it up. What am I? What is this? Cham! Well, the 1v1 build of losing your adepts and Living Dead with the very Diamond League move of, well, maybe this time he doesn't have anything in his wall. No, he'll probably have something in his wall, because his select all army hotkey isn't rebound to every single key, my friend. Alright, so we're trying not to do Angry Coach right now. Okay? We have plenty of Diamond League Angry Coaches. But it's hard. It's hard sometimes. I do apologize if it bleeds through. Banelings finishing up with the Adepts. They do have glaives and are incredibly well spread. That's about as cost effective as you're going to get. There is a Spire on the way. It was spotted by Cham. He's already got double Stargate Phoenix in production. But the one thing that Double Star does not get you in this scenario is the map control that you're usually looking for. Now, this is not ideal for Mr. Soup. But Double Stargate in 1v1, if you're able to do Glaive Adepts, get a little damage done into Double Star, you have pretty much total map control, unless they're all-inning you right now. But there's simply... Oh, he's going with the... He's essentially tech switching like a Zerg. We got Double Star, now whip up the double Robo after the double Gate. I mean, it is 1v2. So, I'm interested to see if he just goes full-on, like, straight to Colossi, or if we're gonna settle down with a more stable, solid Immortal Archon play. He's just... No, I only want the good Protoss units. Get those weak-ass Zealots and Stalkers and Tickle Beam Sentries out of here. I want Phoenixes, I want Disruptors, I want Immortals, and I want Colossi. We'll see, though. Be careful not to pick up with every single Phoenix simultaneously. Have some damage being done to Living Dead. The probe count is 61 for Cham. 45 and 33 drones, respectively, for the Joes. So, well, Soup shoring that up a bit. The Phoenix is getting some work done, though. Two Immortals on the way. When the Phoenixes are out of energy and don't really have much HP loss, it's not a great sign for you as a Zerg player, or Zerg players. Plural works too. Charge is coming up. We should see a gateway explosion from Cham right now. If I know my pseudo Protoss. Oh my god, double Forge. How could I forget? Everything must be done in pairs. It's his inner Zerg, okay? Because everybody knows, buy one Zergling, get one Zergling free. So, it's just natural for a Zerg player to do things in pairs. Two more gates on the way. Double Immortal. 4 probes at a time. He's already at 73. Soup going to 73 as well, though. Staying toe-to-toe. The Joes have been allowed to survive. Okay, they've been able to put some economy together. Phoenixes are not going to win the game. Phoenixes, unfortunately, they can't lift everything. They can't lift things like buildings, like massive units, like Ultralists, your Mother, Archons, Thors. So they don't end the game on their own. But they can do so much damage, it sets the scene for the rest of the units to come in and knock them out. Anitis. Cham spots it, right? Get him with your... Throw your water balloons! Oh, the Immortals walking down. Yeah, that... Those two Hydras were designated blood sacrifices. Blood for the Blood God. Or at least the Protoss. Oh, oh gosh. The Phoenix scout pattern. Some sort of deep learning algorithm to find all of the... Well, he actually tapped on one of the Overlord. He's like, no Nidus on this map. Storm is on the way. Cham getting all the good Protoss stuff, but While the Joes have definitely scaled up more slowly, that's the thing. There are two.
Hello there.
Sneaky roach. 3 tunneling claws roaches, and then 4 over here, and then 23 mutalisks. They may have... Oh, those roaches did not survive. So they may have actually utilized the team mechanic and traded resources. I wouldn't be surprised if Living Dead gave some gas to If I Were a Soup in order to get the resources for quite that many mutas. That is a lot of mutas. That is a dangerous amount of mutas. More than I think Cham will be expecting. So the Protoss army storms, coat all the mutas right off the bat. Immortals, this is an incredibly cost-effective army out of Cham. But there's a whole lot of Zerg. A single Archon! The power! Overwhelming. The Roach is waiting for their moment. So Cham has constructed nearly the most powerful near 200 supply of Protoss you can get. But can he actually break through the swarms of Zerg? He only has 1-1 right now. He's working on 2-2. The Roaches are waiting for their moment, even hiding in the sneaky little bushes there. Or reeds, I don't know. Immortals. Oh, Corrosive Bile knocks a few Templar down. That's going to really reduce the storm potential. I don't know why there are burrowed roaches all over the place like a campaign mission. Meanwhile, the mutas are going to work. He recalls the Phoenixes. Cham is microing back. He has to micro at the front simultaneously. You can't be losing those Phoenixes. Technically, they outrange mutas, but when there's enough mutas, things get dicey. The mutas flying right on home. The Phoenixes are not with the fight. It's just Living Dead left to fend against. He's got double-digit Immortals. Some slow Zerglings coming out to eat some of the shots. Here come the mutas to help with it. The Archons are boxing out. The slow Zerglings in the front. The Phoenixes, just as fast, will match the army. The Archons doing their best from the back. The Zerg army is trying to battle through, where at the same time the Immortals and Archons are standing their ground. The splash damage is overwhelming. The Immortals, no support left over on the ground. He just uses recall. There is no retreat. There is just revenge. The Zergs, the Joes, survive. But wait, there's a Warp Prism. In the main, he's gutting the tech. Cham not going down yet. He's done so much damage. Living Dead has lost all the drones in his main. He's down to 43. The Queens are under attack. Even more charge left's going to work. He's building a mothership back at home. Doing some damage to If I Were a Soup. He's not going to be able to get that valuable Spire. The Warp Prism will escape. 3 Zealots left behind to guard its retreat. They're still waiting for their moment. A Nidus. He used the burrowed roaches to get a Nidus worm, which is an interesting move. Kind of giving away his whole position here. Unfortunately, there is nothing to put in the... Oh, there we go. Wait. Oh, that was his teammate. That was Living Dead doing the Nidus. What a play. That's a next level team gameplay. They're actually working with each other. So while they took some hits, Cham dealing it out just as much. Is there a storm? Tempest and Templar, but this is not a temporary army. This thing could potentially end the game. The charge lot's coming through. He storms. Wait, does he realize there are burrowed roaches back there? He kind of accidentally hit him, but the attack at the front. A whole bunch of roaches. The Immortals holding their ground. The Tempest going to work. A Nidus coming straight through. The pickups on the Templar. The storm drops could be devastating. Another Nidus, but he pops another one in the corner. Cham under siege. Will try to jump the army in the center. Where are the storms? He finds a couple. The Templar can be lifted back up. The Immortals holding their ground. Where are the rest of the storms? He's juggling back up to the top. The Phoenix is going to work. Nidus pops out the 4th. Right, that's 5th base. A recall out to the Nexus. It's a bit of a dicey move. It's only Tempest. The Corrosive Biles knock down one immediately. The shield batteries don't have enough energy. The Immortals rotating around. Roaches and Corruptors in the center. More storms chewing through the Zerg. The cost efficiency is there, but the numbers are not. Cham the mothership. There is no detection. They're forced to retreat back into the Nidus. But here comes Soup. The Joe's battering Cham on all sides. He's desperately trying to defend. Right now, he's still maintaining 136 supply. Soup has 182. Living Dead at 100. Cham still has the most workers on the map. He can rebuild as long as he maintains his tech and his infrastructure. The mothership here to shield anything it can. Are there enough corruptors to take it out? Are there storms? There's not quite enough energy yet. The mothership looks like it'll be targeted down, but how much will he lose? Another Nidus at the front. Actually, that's at the back. It doesn't really matter which side. The Nidus pops out. The mothership has fallen. The corruptors are looking for the Tempest, but they're going to lose a lot of HP in the process. Are there storms at the front? The Archons are going to work. Some more tumbling claws roaches. Another storm on the center mass. The Warp Prism trying to hold. Roach Hydra on the left. The roaches in the center. The corruptors heading towards the main. Charge Labs warped in. Templar Archives still intact, and the rest of the roaches blasted through. Where did all the tunneling claws roaches? They evaporated to the storm and the Immortals. Is caustic spray an option? There are plenty of cannons to protect in the main. Cham holds on 4 bases. But everyone has taken hits. The thing is, the Joes, they have survived with a respectable economy. Templar taking the wrong road will pay with their lives. The Corruptors waiting for their moment. The worker count 50, 62, and 72 with Cham in the lead. The Living Dead has all these bases. Another Nidus on the high ground. $19 more roaches on the way. Cham rebuilding his army. 146 supply. The Joes both have more, but it is Roach Hydra. What are the upgrades? 2-2 for both of the Joes. 3-2 for Cham. He's also got, of course, all the fixins. He's got Storm. He's got Immortals. He's got Archons. Well, he had Archons. But wait, more from the side. Gotta be careful not to storm your own observer too much. But this army is absolutely obliterated. But there's another one where that came from. Broodlords in the corner. A Brood War-esque move. The Roaches continue the siege. There's not much to match this. He's going for Blink. I think he's either realized that Greater Spire is an option or realized he's probably just going to need Blink Stalkers anyways. The Corruptor's going to work. He's hiding in the trees. Stay in the trees! How does Cham deal with this? This is the late game. The supreme late game. The Broodlords from the trees. Cham, 156. Living Dead. Still struggling. He's rebuilt some of his economy. He's rebuilding drones now. There's not much to do with the Immortals against the Broods. Soup taking his time. Yeah, Immortals don't count on Broods, Cham. You as a Zerg player should know that better than most. Mothership is finishing up. It's on the main Nexus, though. There is no detection here. While it can be targeted down by Corruptors, that could be the few seconds he needs to actually take down the Broodlords. There is no counter damage. The rest of the Joe, well, especially Living Dead, has been left to rebuild. And that could be dangerous. The mothership has completed. The main nexus, the minerals exhausted, the gas depleted. Oh, it's right on top. There's not that many Broodlords. Here comes the Nidus. The Corruptors can do nothing but watch. The Broodlord's being targeted down. What about the Nidus? What about the Nidus? It's an important question. What about the Nidus? He takes down every Brood. He targets the Nidus, and he gets it. A single roach pops out. Cham holds. But there's some more Broods waiting in the trees. Another Nidus in the corner. Cham rebuilding. He has the economy. A few more Broods sneaking in, but he cuts them down in the leaves. Cham's still losing so much, but there's nothing in the network right now. Living Dead, I want to point out, has not gotten roach speed. A key upgrade. A critical mistake. In all the action, he hasn't realized roach speed has been lacking. Not that his roaches have moved very far before dying. More Broodlords on the way, Soup. Eventually, there won't be enough Stalkers. You're gonna need air to air. The Broodlings are coming! Oh, he blinks out of Broodling Strike! But the Zergs, the Joes, everybody's near maxed out. Brenda! Why are these Zerglings almost as slow as us? We are 20 minutes into the match, and we're not getting paid overtime. What is this? But eventually... Cham has secured bases 5 and 6. there's a possibility now we have to consider that because the Joes are, of course, 2 players instead of 1, if Cham holds long enough, they will mine out significantly quicker. That is a possibility. He has the late-game death buffer. Now, the technical counter, you got things like Infestors and Vipers and Queens and upgraded Broodlords, but do you trust these players to control that in the way it needs to be controlled? Oh, the Broodlords! Oh, that's a lot of broods. He realizes immediately. Zergling speed is about to complete. The mothership. The Tempests are sieging. Storms across the board. The mothership. There is no detection! There's no... They can't see! They can't see!
Your forces are taking damage.
Yes, they are, indeed. The storms are chasing the Broodlords. The queens are slaughtered. The Nidus is on the way. He recalls much to defend, but he doesn't recall... Oh no, he might have accidentally recalled too little. He may have split his forces too thinly. Here come the Overseers. A lot of those Broodlords have taken massive hits. The Tempest sieging from the back. He's driven it back on this side. The Vipers. The mothership goes down, but the Broodlords are exposed. Does he have the Storms? Another Nidus at the back here. The Broodlords are evaporating the Storm. The Carrier's not being targeted. A lot of the Interceptors have gone down. There's no actual straight-up anti-air. He's losing some Templar. Cham being spread thinly, but he maintains his 200 supply. Here come the Hydras. The Immortals are standing their ground, but he already used the recall. Where is the support? He needs to get rid of these Broodlords. The Roach Hydra is moving its way up. The Carriers are out of Interceptors. They need ground support. Where are the reinforcements? Storm! The Broodlords are holding. The Broodlords have done so much here. But finally they will fall. Their watch is ended. Have they? Will they? Some Storms warding things off. There are some Vipers in the mix. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish. Some more Corruptors come up. The Carrier's being whittled down, as are the Interceptors. More Corruptors. At some point, the Corruptors will reign supreme in the skies. They can just... Soup can just entirely commit to Corruptors. Is there another Storm up here? There is one more Storm. He drops it. Blinding Cloud. Cham's army is thinning out. He still has a few Archons. The Vipers are gonna fall. And finally, the Joes will hold. Cham taking his many, many pounds of flesh. But the overwhelming swarm continues to trickle in, and Cham is knocked back down to 133 supply. He does have 72 workers. The Joes, though, have a strong economy. They can still do this for a while yet. They can continue to produce at this rate. Cannons out of nowhere, officer. I swear I didn't see that cannon there when I walked in. The Viper goes down. Are there Storms? There's plenty of energy. Storms. He's gonna actually kill one of the Corruptors as well. That's a whole lot of Hydras. Will they survive the Storm? He drops one Storm. The mothership comes up into a world of fire. He's got to make a tough decision on whether he storms the Hydras or he storms the Corruptors. He realizes the ground army is the bigger immediate threat. The Tempest coming in. The Zerg. The ground and the air. The Archons will finish, doing a whole lot of damage, but not enough. The caustic spray on the Nexus, one of the key mining bases. That'll leave just one for Cham, but there's counter damage. Charge lots have cleaned up a base of living dead. This is an important... Oh, the force fields! He's holding the line! There are no more Storms, though. He's out of splash damage. He has to just hold. The charge lots are doing so much, cutting off the reinforcements. Cham, he has one last Immortal. The Immortal falls. He's at 88 supply. There's essentially nothing left. The Templar Archives, he's used everything and then some. The charge lots at the back. Oh, from both sides, a beautiful flank. Even the probes. Oh, wait, the probes are just going to go mine. A Broodlord. Wait, a Broodlord? A surprise Broodlord. Cham holds, but this time, at what cost? Living Dead has lost many of his drones. This base has not been spotted, I don't believe, by Cham. Thus, it survived. Living Dead is almost out of mining. His income is only 800 minerals a minute. He's got a lot of gas. If I Were a Soup has expanded to the whole top right corner. The charge lot's going to work. There's actually not that much of a ground army here to battle Cham. Broodlords will be good, but they're on the other side of the map, and there's only one of them. A whole lot of Zerglings. Banelings wouldn't be a bad call here. But Cham is working on gateway units, which is not where you want to be at this stage of the match. That's a whole lot. What does he have for Ling upgrades? He has 0-0 with no adrenal glands, but he can build so many Banelings. The Stalkers find the base. They're looking for an opportunity. Can he target down the Broodlords? Stalker's going to work. He might want to split off some Zealots. Lings and Banes protecting what's left of living. The Broodlord is taken down. The Corruptors will watch. The ground army going to work. He hasn't split off anything to deal with Joe. I mean, If I Were a Soup / the Joes. The Vipers microed back. That's a whole lot of Banelings without speed. You gotta be careful with those charge lots. The Banelings will be exhausted. Blinding Cloud does essentially nothing. The Banelings are gone. The Zealots will hold their ground. Another round being warped in. Immortals at the back. Cham holding for now. He recalls a singular Immortal. He saves it, though. That's what matters. Oh, the Vipers, an actually decent Blinding Cloud, but the Viper's not going to hold forever. Where are the reinforcements? He pulls an Immortal in, but is that actually going to accomplish anything? The answer is no. Cham strikes back. Living Dead is down under 100 supply. Cham isn't much higher. The thing here... Oh, the Broodlords. The Broodlords. The Broodlords. They have to be the answer. If I Were a Soup is out of gas. He does have plenty of minerals. He's using them on Zerglings, but those Zerglings have no upgrades. He just used the rest of his gas on Banelings. Cham, just with his basic gateway units, has essentially gutted Living Dead's economy. He has 600 minerals per minute. The Broodlords have to finish the fight. He has no air upgrades, just the 5 Broods, but a whole lot of Lings underneath. The Stalkers. Meanwhile, Roach Hydra. Cham getting caught out, unfortunately, here. The Broodlord's going to help out the Lings and Banes. Cham has to fight on 2 fronts. He's going to lose this base for sure. Can he put together enough to deal with the Broods? He's rebuilding his Templar archives he lost earlier. Roach Hydra going to work. Immortal getting caught, unfortunately. Broodlords doing their absolute best. Soup is still mining, and that is still fueling his incredibly cost-inefficient but continued assault. Are there enough in the way of Stalkers to match this? The Stalkers have 3-3-1 upgrades against 0-0. I mean, there are some Carapace upgrades. I guess we could count that. +2 Carapace does make the Lings a little harder to kill. He's got to blink over the top. There's 1 shot. He's going for the Broods. There's not that much underneath him. Getting 2. Looking for 3. There's only a handful left over. The blink's almost off cooldown. He can blink again. There are plenty of Zerglings down here, though. Things are getting dangerous. The Roach Hydra is here to reinforce. So are the Zerglings. Cham at 100 supply against 240. The Joes are bearing down. The bases are mining out. We're 30 minutes in. Even with a single player mining, they're running out of steam. The probe count is down to 43. Cham has Immortals. The Broodlords continue to launch their Broodlings from long range. He has to find a way to get through the ground army and the air. It's becoming dicier and dicier. He flanks to the side, gets 2 Broods, looking for 3. Only 1 is left over. Cham still finding a way to strike back. He's still mining. Some more charge lots coming up to deal with the ground army. Finally, Roach Speed out of Living Dead. If I Were a Soup is still mining. If he had been able to do anything about his economy, Cham might still be looking at an opportunity, but his opportunities are drying up. He's sending some charge lots out now. Living Dead has been gutted, but you have twice as many players you need to worry about as a standard game. Remember, Cham is actually a Zerg player in WCS, but his Protoss acquitting itself pretty well. Joes will respond. He recalls some charge lots out. That's how important they are to him right now. Living Dead has put together another Roach Hydra army. The units are out of position, unfortunately, here. I keep saying that because there are a lot of unfortunate things. This Nexus will fall alongside many of the probes. He needs to smash this army with Storm and minimal losses. Oof. That is approximately 1 GG of Broodlords. The economy left unchecked a little too long. He's building 10 more broods. Adrenal glands and +2. If I Were a Soup took a couple minutes to whip out his Prima strategy guide, where it finally said, no, not 4, not 6. Can I get 15 Broodlords? The answer was no, but 11 will have to do, and 126 Zerglings underneath. I don't know if Cham can fight through that. That is a whole lot of lings. He recalls the Zealots. Banelings as well. Unfortunately, time is not in Cham's favor. If I say unfortunately one more time, we're gonna fire Jimmy for writing a bad script. Hashtag rigged. There is no recall, and you're not getting out of here. The Lynx are on the chase. But wait, Storm from the high ground, raining down. The Broodlords are getting closer. Another set of storms! Category 5. But there's Zerg on all sides. The last stand of ire. The turncoat Zerg Cham. Showing off his Protoss. Oh, another. Oh, gets every Baneling! Oh, but 1 or 2. The storms are so good. But I don't know if it's possible to have storms good enough. Not even a super pylon. The Broodlord and Baneling count. Looks like it'll finally... I keep saying that. It looks like enough. Oh, that's a dicey recall. Oh, the Banelings! He recalled probes, so that's not ideal. Blinding Clouds finally finding a good location. Another set of storms. He pulls an Immortal in. The Immortal's happy about it. Gets a Viper. It looks like If I Were a Soup with more army value than the rest of the map and then some. Come to shut the door. Cham. The Joe's losing almost 110,000 resources to Cham's 75. But at the end of the day, the Swarm just a little too strong for a little too long. Down come the Broodlings, as well as Cham's supply. He's gonna have to tap it out. The Joes have done it at great length and at great struggle. But the 2 diamond players have been finally able to take Cham all the way and claim victory. They'll take it home. 35 minutes. But they do attain that victory. GG. The Joes make Cham bleed. And And Jimmy says we've got a public service announcement. So if you guys could pause ad block real quick after that, that'd be awesome. Be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Winter, and I'm here to talk to you all about community show matches in StarCraft 2. Have you heard of Dricket? Well, you should, because Dricket wrangles so many nerds to play in these exciting matches for you. And what does he get in return? Pride and accomplishment. But maybe, just maybe, and the ability to reply to your stupid comments on YouTube. And also good comments, but mostly stupid comments. Just saying. But, did you know that there's also a Patreon? Now, as of right now, it's not necessary, but the more resources Dricket has, and I think at this point he's proved himself as a capable administrator and organizer of all these, you would be surprised how hard it is to get pro gamers to show up at the right place at the right time. It is a Grandmaster level feat to make that happen on a regular basis, let alone 8 players. So, I thought I was just going to do a whole marathon thing, but that game was so goddamn good, it's probably going to end up on YouTube on its own as an advertisement for the rest of the video. So if you're watching that video right now, smash the like button and actually open up the goddamn description and read like a normal human being for 3 seconds. And if you have the means and the motivation, check out that Patreon. And also like and subscribe and all that bullshit. But thank you for supporting StarCraft 2. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully you continue to, if this is the long version of the video. We're planning ahead. We do it live. Jimmy!